Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and genitals, ladies and germs,
Ladies and germs.
ladies and germs,
Touchy.
we are back. Welcome today for my special co-host, Mr. Morgan.
Hola.
Top of the morning, Mr. Morgan.
Guten Morgen.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm out. I'm in the green studio. I'm
You
fresh.
are.
I'm fresh. I only ever noticed the color of the studio now.
It's
It's got a certain charm to it.
really, it's less sterile than any other room I've been in the last month, so I appreciate that. You know, there's fuzz on the wall and it's green, so it's like we're in a piece of moldy fruit.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
It's like a kiwi.
Ah, yes. Or a feijoa.
Feijoa.
Doing the research for the show, there were like 3 different stories about feijoas I could have chosen. It's
What's
not
a
a feijoa.
feijoa? What is a
It's a
feijoa?
fruit.
A fruit.
A green
what kind
fruit.
of fruit?
It's
And
a
also, are you
green-
pronouncing that correctly?
Yeah, feijoa.
Feijoa.
It's very popular in New Zealand.
Ah,
It's not only grown in New Zealand though.
kiwi.
No, a feijoa.
The walls feel like a kiwi though. Speaking of colours of rooms, random fact for the day.
Ooh,
Ooh.
jumping straight in.
Yeah.
Go.
The inside of Russian helicopters during the Cold War
Hmm.
were actually, the cockpits were actually coloured light blue. Allegedly because it relaxed the pilots, but also because it made it easier for blood to show up.
Sick.
Sick.
Like
And
literally sick.
Sick on that note.
It's like, that reminds me of that Eminem lyric, a blood stained is orange till you wash it. I've messed up the lyric. Do you know the lyric I'm referring to?
Spaghetti, knees weak, palms are heavy.
That's the only one that matters.
That's the only one that matters, yeah.
Rap God is just him giving you a recipe for spaghetti over and over and over again.
That's it. I'm pretty sure that's an award-winning lyric as well. Not quite as good as Ludacris's lyric from like his album in the mid-thousands, which I can't remember the name of, but it won an award just for one line.
Really?
Do you want to know what that line is?
Please.
It's not safe for TAFE.
This isn't a TAFE production. This is an XXTRA Studios production.
This is definitely
Anything goes
This
here.
is definitely XXX production.
There we go.
All right, let me go. Let me tell you about. Let me tell you about swimming on a penis. Breaststroke, backstroke, stroke of a genius.
I think my favourite lyric is from the Bloodhound Gang. It's, I'm hung like planet Pluto, hard to see with the naked eye, but if I crashed into Uranus, I would stick it where the sun don't shine.
That's beautiful.
It is.
That's poetry.
Didn't win an award, but...
No, it also didn't stand the test of time.
No, the 2000s were their own sort of world.
Yeah.
Like, you remember,
It goes with my other favourite lyrics that didn't stand the test of time. Was it the notorious B.I.G? Time to get paid, blow up like the world trade.
That's not appropriate. That's... Or like, Nelly. That's what I was thinking of. My friend went as Nelly for a dress-up party. And,
Band-Aid.
Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Pretty easy dress up. And we were listening to the album and we're like, God, this is fucking terrible. But there was just a full song about pimp juice. And we were like, what the fuck is pimp juice?
Is pimp juice like Jesus juice?
It might be.
Just in a gold bottle?
If my research serves me correct, you were actually born in Bethlehem, were you not?
Was I?
Were you?
No.
Have you ever been to Bethlehem?
I have been in Bethlehem.
Have you lived in Bethlehem?
I have.
Then my research is semi-correct.
That is scary.
Let's
You were
edit
like-
that. If
you
my
were-
research is correct, you have been to Bethlehem, have you not?
Do you work for Nardwa?
I try. He is my inspiration.
He's everyone's inspiration.
So you're kind of like my my messiah at the moment.
Well, I aim for a certain level of like Halo.
So, can I blame you for all of this? Like, please, on behalf of all humanity, we are sorry. Please, fix all this. Please, please, and please.
You mean the green walls?
Yes, please, fix the green walls. But you also make bread, so that kind of makes you a messiah.
Make bread?
You wanted to talk about the secret underground trade of ciabatta,
Oof.
sourdough.
Oof. Do you know how many hipsters that trade has sustained?
Please,
During the
tell me about the
lockdown?
trade.
Where, during my day job, which I won't reveal now for security reasons.
Being a messiah,
Being a
prophet.
messiah, yeah. It's a lucrative market, but dangerous, very dangerous. Anyway, there is a underground movement of sourdough. There's actually people trading the starters for sourdough and chips. Like, there is a physical exchange of an object.
We've truly come into strange times, haven't
We
we?
really have. Which is ironic because at some point my relatives lined up for bread in the Ukraine. So it's this, seeing that is like, the world is in a strange place.
I've developed a theory, right? You know about, of course, the four horsemen of the apocalypse.
Do you reckon they'd come on like WRXs or something now? Like what cars would the four horsemen? Gotta update it. There's four horsemen? What? One should be in like a Jeep. Definitely a Jeep.
Death
One-
rides a Honda.
One will be in like a Lincoln Continental.
Conquest is in like a Hummerzine.
Yeah.
It's just like, I am the big dog.
A
and
pink
the big
one. And I reckon
Hell yeah.
the plague would come in one of those party buses.
Just a really
Yeah.
hoary, paint chipped off the side, seats all stained like vomit type party
Yeah,
bus.
there's definitely some STDs in that bus.
Oh hell yeah! Well, that's how you know that's the party. The party's with the germs.
The 4 horsepowers of the apocalypse.
Well, if we actually look, let's break down the evidence. Right, we've got plague, coronavirus, fairly simple. War, America, and in my bowels alike, all that instant coffee. Wink, 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 wink. Death. I mean, what isn't dead at the moment? The economy, everyone's will to live, the joy of the outside world. Pestilence. He's been having a blast, right?
That's my favourite, by the way, pestilence.
Well, he's been having a whole party. In Australia, kangaroos have been seen skipping through the streets when no one else is around. We've obviously got the murder hornets in America, which, by the way, don't actually kill people. They do fuck up honeybees, though. And do you know how honeybees have evolved to fight hornets?
Would it be involving like losing their life anyway?
Kind of. They form like a megazord ball. They call it a bee ball. And they form like a big giant megazord. And yeah, they murder the murder hornets. It's pretty entertaining to watch.
Is that a kamikaze though? Would they die in that process?
Oh, definitely. Hundreds of them are dying. Like a murder hornet can take out a whole squad as long as, they've been training.
That's a sacrifice.
Well, it's for a greater cause, isn't it? I'd love to live for a purpose like bees do.
Do you ever think about like kamikaze pilots and wonder if there are any successful kamikaze pilots that lived? And if you lived, does that make you a kamikaze pilot?
Well, I was about to say, you're not really successful if you're just walking it off, are you? You got to hop back in. It's like
No.
being a suicide bomber. If you're still alive, didn't really do your job.
Yeah.
Picking up slack. You don't get paid until your liver's in a different county. And to end with pestilence, locusts. Locusts are in India right now, tearing the place
Really?
up, having a rave. Bodies are hitting the floor.
Are they there to find spiritual enlightenment? do
They're searching
like
for
a
you,
yoga.
mate. They're searching for the Messiah. This is the biblical end that we have been warned about for millennia. You've come.
That's it. They're going to come back and they're going to start a yoga podcast or a yoga YouTube channel.
This is what it's all led up
Yeah,
to.
that's
New
it.
Age spirituality has actually been the work of the devil all along. There's a cure for the coronavirus. Did you know this?
No, tell me.
Fear not, my friend, because there is actually a cure for the coronavirus that...
It's too late. I'm already fearing.
Well, we're talking about New Age.
Yeah.
Vegans. You know how they love nuts.
Oh, they love their nuts.
Vegan
nut juice?
Nut juice.
Nut juice.
Pimp juice.
Oh,
Vegan bodybuilder Tracy Kiss has been drinking sperm smoothies to prevent the virus because, as you know, vegans love their nuts. She's been drinking them for 3 years and claims she hasn't had a cold since. And I actually have a quote from Tracy Kiss. It isn't much different to a breastfeeding mother.
it's going to take a second to let that sink in.
Got to get those nutrients in you. Nutrients. Putting the nut into nutrients.
It's really getting that pure source of life.
Get in that pimp
Pure
juice,
energy.
baby. Nelly was trying to warn us all along. Nelly was out there 20 years ago warning us, you got to get your pimp juice. Mr. Morgan, it does seem we're coming back into a little bit of normalcy in the world.
Mr. Double X, you'll have to speak for yourself.
I mean, my show's back. Isn't that normal? Aren't we doing normal things here?
This is far from normal.
We're talking current events. That's good old Chappy News.
Chappy News.
That's the new name of the show, everyone.
Chappy
Episode 1,
News.
Chappy News with
Yeah.
Peter Morgan.
Get to the crotch of all issues.
What's something you've been missing if you don't think we're in normalcy yet?
That's a good question. Cut to something. Cut to a video.
Cut to Family Guy reference.
Got the Family Guy reference.
10 hours of Family Guy funny moments.
No, use the sound cards from SpongeBob. One eternity
Oh,
later.
yes.
Can you please do that? Because that is one of my favorite things for editing.
I will.
One eternity later.
I will.
And so that is what I'm missing.
SpongeBob?
SpongeBob.
When
Always.
SpongeBob was good.
Always, yeah.
A lot of people, what they're missing most about the world is sport, which
Oh.
is fairly, you know.
I love them. I love me a good sport.
You love
A bit of a good sport.
bit of they kicking the ball
I love to push a ball around the oval.
with various body parts.
Well, mainly just one, but we won't talk about that now.
That
Or
would
will
be an
we?
interesting sport. Have you caught any of the recent NRL games as they've been coming up?
I have.
Hmm.
I love that round ball, oval ball sport.
Do you support a team?
Genetically, I support the Cronulla Sharks,
Ooh.
but spiritually, the Cronulla Sharks.
My dad will like you. He supports the Cronulla Sharks.
Is he a shy boy?
Hmm. I only watch NRL so my parents will like me, so I'm not really that
Same
invested.
here. That's him. I just sat down in front of TV when I was younger and watched it just so my dad would like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick.
Wow. But is that how sport is sustained?
I'm
Like the
pretty sure.
Genetic transmission or like social transmission of sport is like, yeah, people just wanting their parents to like them.
No one actually cares.
No one gives a
Even the players, they just want their parents to like them.
Yeah.
Obviously, unfortunately, parents can't be going to the games, and not many people can, except for the lucky few who have been getting access. Cardboard cutouts and cheering stock sound effects. The perfect way to build an atmosphere.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I have a very special guest sitting across from me. Fans of the NRL may recognise this one from the bleachers, so please make him feel welcome. Sitting across from me right now, ladies and gentlemen, is a cardboard cutout of a celebrity.
Woohoo. Yep. Yep, yippee. Go team.
However, the other day during the Penrith vs Newcastle game, there was a shot of the crowd in which people noticed Dr. Harold Shipman managed to sneak his way in. Are you aware of Dr. Harold Shipman?
Tell me.
Dr. Harold Shipman is someone who was convicted in 2000 and was found guilty of murdering 15 patients. However, his estimated total is between 250 people.
So the kind of caliber of people you want in an NRL game.
Well, I mean, you've seen how violent they get. That's pretty much people. I'm sure the NRL fans have killed more than 250 people.
Look, they're just following the players on and off the field.
Just imagine, right, like it's your first premiership and you're playing for the Cronulla Sharks and you're running that line and you finally get your first try and you look up into the audience to see your parents and looking down at you smiling is Hitler, Mussolini, and Darth Vader.
The trifecta.
The trifecta.
You know you've made it then in sport when you look up and you see a two-dimensional Hitler looking back at you.
You just see Force Ghost smiling going, good. Good.
You just see Stalin there as a 2D shaking his head. Should have passed the ball.
Nah, you know Stalin would be a Rabbitohs fan. With a moustache like that. Rabbit food, dude. Turnips in Russia. But hey, would you rather be looking at Hitler or boobs? It's a pretty one-sided question.
There's so much here I don't want to record.
Hitler boobs? It could be a thing. Do you wanna read our next story related to boobs?
So it's not just Australia where there's substitute audiences for like these games. South Korea is also taking part. Specifically, Seoul FC, the football team. And, you know, they are my favorite South Korean football team. Because I like to say, North Korea is good, but South Korea's got soul.
Jesus Christ.
So recently, FC Seoul has apologized in Instagram for having a particularly interesting version or take on fake audiences. It got revealed that they were using sex dolls in their stadium to replicate the crowd. So you look up into you're playing and you look up and you see these figures with gaping mouths looking back at you.
At least they're making the right expression.
That's it. But you know the best thing about it? They're all socially distanced.
Well, there we go.
There we go. But it just, it like, There's so many questions I have with this. Like, how did it happen? Was there a round table and it's like, we need audience. What are we going to do? Cardboard cutouts? That's too NRL. That's too serial killer. That's too weird.
Not lively enough.
And then mannequins. Let's go mannequins. Like, okay, we'll go mannequins. We've got maybe 10 mannequins. They don't have the right expressions. They look a bit wooden. All right. Let's go real life sex dolls. Okay, let's do sex dolls.
Do you know what? Sex sells, all right? Like, I'm going to watch that game, and football can be extremely boring. You know, it's back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. I'm going to watch that game for that audience. Sex sells, and the Koreans know it. You know, they've got their little K-pop bands. Now they've got fans K-popping their cherries at the games.
But how do you think that they found them? Like, was there a call out? Was there someone at home's like, oh yeah, I've got 5 sex dolls we can bring in? Or did everyone have to bring one each from home?
Yeah, they rented them out. Oi, mate, you mind if we borrow this for a game? Yeah, sure. Just make sure to wash it before you bring it back.
But the excellent point is they actually won the game. So who's to
The
say
sex
that...
dolls did?
The sex dolls, yeah. The sex dolls, yeah. So SC Seoul won the game 1-0. So who's to say that like the sex dolls aren't a good crowd? They succeeded in their purpose of cheering their team on to victory.
Well, that's the good thing about a sex doll. It's never judging your performance.
Never
I
judging.
think that's the appeal, isn't it?
In my experience, never. I feel very comforted.
How about our next sexy story for today, Mr. Morgan?
Tell me.
The Lucky Devil Lounge, a strip club in Portland, Oregon.
I know it well.
You know it?
Yep.
Oh. Well, then can I just say we both probably had a very difficult time researching for this one. Must have been very hard to research for this one.
I really had to strip back the internet. Make it rain, XX.
So they've found an innovative way to keep themselves open during lockdown. Obviously, social distancing, stripping's a bit intimate, right? So they've now turned their drive-through into a fast food delivery service. So strippers are Uber Eatsing meals straight directly to your car. How grand is that?
All I can think of is chicken strips now.
With special ranch dipping sauce.
Yeah, deep fried chicken breast.
Oh man, you're funny.
It's my lunch break. I'm hungry.
Oh, true. I haven't had breakfast. I have. I'm just saying that so I don't sound like a fat ass. I'm still really hungry. Well, I'm just thinking about the whole drive-through concept of it because drive-through movies are awesome. I've always wanted to go to one of them. Do you know the band Hockey Dad?
No.
Hockey Dad are an Aussie band, and they've just announced in Wollongong they're going to do a drive-through concert.
They sound a lot like the band which I was in at a younger age of teenage dads on unemployment benefits.
So, you know, we've got this drive-through concert, we've got this drive-through movie, we've got drive-through strip clubs. What do you think would work as a drive-through? My initial thought...
Drive-through prostate exam.
Drive-through prostate
You
exam.
want to get away from there as fast as possible once it's over.
Stick a very long camera through the exhaust pipe.
That's it. You know, it's the perfect balance to the COVID exam. Like, you go in the front, you go in the back as well.
Did you have a COVID exam?
No,
I
but I've
did.
seen it, and I know that I don't want one.
I got one.
Tell me.
It was like sniffing curry.
Sniffing curry?
Just the pure... What I'm thinking for drive-through is drive-through gyms, right? You got your cars on a treadmill.
We're talking like actual gyms, not like gyms mowing.
No, we're not talking drive-through gyms.
Because there's a lot of gyms out there that could do with a run-through.
But like you could have drive-through gym on a little drive-through thing. But picture a drive-through gym. You've got your cars on your treadmill. You've got like building up the air pressure in the tire in order to lift more things.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could work.
It could work.
It could work. Steering wheels with like weights on either side of them.
Lifting the weight of society's expectations on you as well.
Definitely. Or leading into that, you could have a drive-through school. You just stay in your car for the rest of your life. Turning circle, just turning each year. 365 days, you're turning. Like a little graduation hat you throw off your L plate at the end of it. Shall we move on to a next story?
Let's move on to the next story. Should we stay with football news? This is all about the sport.
Do you want to go? Do you want to go, mate? Do you want to go?
I want to go.
Go.
I want to go.
Go.
I'm going to go.
Go.
Right now. Right now. And you know where I'm going to go?
Canada.
No.
Oh, Adelaide.
No.
Perth.
Belarus.
Ooh.
Ooh. Everyone's favorite holiday location at the moment.
What a sexy sounding name for a place.
Belarus.
Belarus.
Belarus. Formerly Belarusia. So, we head to Belarus.
Let's go.
Because it is also one of the only football leagues that remained open during the COVID lockdown. Did you know that?
I did not.
Now you do.
No, I do.
The other two are Nicaragua
Mm.
and Tajikistan.
Mhm.
Fantastic leagues, mind you. World-renowned football leagues. I'm surprised you haven't heard of them.
Are we talking soccer football or football?
We're talking soccer football.
Okay.
Yep.
Because like you can do that, but you can't do rugby because that's a contact sport. How do you 1.5 meter tackle someone just with like really long arms?
Well, I'm guessing, looking at the three leagues which remained open,
Yes.
they're places which aren't particularly high up on the UN human rights, freedom scale.
Mm.
So, I think they just went, fuck it, let's keep playing. The world needs our football,
Obviously.
and that is why we're talking about Belarusian football. So, a man from Adelaide
Mm.
named Shane Robinson was searching desperately for some live sport to watch. Searching the internet. Tired of porn. Probably. Sorry, Shane, if you're watching. I'm making an
I'm
assumption
tired
there.
of porn. We all get tired
Yeah,
of porn at
it's
a point.
everything. It's, there's only so much.
Where's the footballer porn?
Where's the football?
Where is the footballer porn? Korea had an idea, right, with these sex dolls. They had an idea. They're introducing the market to something brand new and revolutionary.
I think it'd be very much equalizer if people were naked playing football. None of this Adidas or Nike. Please sponsor us.
Exactly.
Football gear.
Go
You just-
Greek on this baby.
Go Greek. Let's go
Greek.
back. There's such inequality in in teams and funding and equipment. Let's just equalize this. It's like putting Lance Armstrong. Well, he's not a good example. He knows a bit or two about enhancement.
He does.
But it's like getting all the Formula One racing cars. I don't know, in go-karts. Basic go-karts, the kind you find in rural Australia. The ones that people spend their weekends on.
Just Flintstone cars.
Flintstone cars. Flintstone cars. Make that bedrock. Back to FC.
Back.
FC Belarus.
Belarus.
So Shane Robson, looking for sport, desperately hungry, wants a taste of some kind of live streaming sport, as we all do at some point. And he came across Belarusian football. Now, there is a need to pick a team. Always. It is like the coming of age for manhood to pick a team. Sometimes you get it from your parents. Sometimes you have to make that choice. But earlier in the year, a few months ago, Shane made that choice, going down the list of names, and he's newly discovered Belarusian football. He saw the name, FC Sluts, which was an easy sell. It was a funny name. It still is a funny name.
It still is. I'm laughing.
I laugh. I think it's pronounced differently, but hey, for the purposes of this, it's going to be FC Sluts.
What is journalistic integrity? You can lie on this show as long as it's worth a laugh.
It's my Australian twang. Don't knock it. We all don't have such a rich voices such as yours.
Well,
Double
it
X.
sounds the exact same in my New Zealand slang. FC sluts.
Sluts.
Sounds like a sausage when you do it like that.
So for Shane, it was it was love at first sight. And so he did what all people do with love in this age of internet interconnectivity. He posted it on the internet and started a group, the FK Slutsk worldwide Facebook group. And it took off. His membership, the following, skyrocketed to 7,000.
That's impressive.
Which is the biggest following Belarusian football has had in a long time.
That's good. Maybe that's intentional. When you said he does what any lover does in the modern age, I thought he was going to send a dick pic to every team member individually. But
He could have done that. Which would it was interesting because that would tie in with the performance of FC Slutsk, because their position on the league table from last year has skyrocketed. They're now at the top, whereas last year they were coming 7th, which is pretty poor by Belarusian standards. So they were also under financial stress. The local sugar mill, which, as all good sugar mills should, was providing them financial support, funding for their stadium, etc., funding for the beer and local delicacy of choice at the local at the canteen. They were funding it, but all this economic trouble has caused them to kind of withdraw that funding. So, old mate Shane decided to start a GoFundMe page to help out FC Slutsk. And they got $3,000.
That's epic. Is that a
That's
lot
epic.
for Belarusians?
I don't know. We have to put the call out to Belarusian supporters
Well,
out there.
you're
Is that
Mr.
a loss?
Worldwide. You should know the currencies of every country. Do they use Dogecoin? Do they use Bitcoin? Do they use XX coin? I want to know. Do they use A coin? Once again, if you saw the show, you'd get that reference.
I think they use A-Coin. He's expanded. There was a thing about a Ukrainian business funding a billboard there because of all the international attention that came from the group.
So it was just a big billboard that said sluts.
It's where all dick pics went. Sluts.
Sluts, donate here. And then there's just like all the OnlyFans simps like going, oh yeah, I'll give you all the money, madam. And then they're like, wait, this is a bunch of sweaty men. No.
The Simpsons.
Do you want to end on a story close to home?
Do we have to?
Well, do you have any more stories?
No, that's it.
Oh, okay.
But I've been close to home for too long now.
Well, it's not in your literal home.
Oh, okay. In that case, proceed.
It might be, because I don't have a name.
Talk to me.
Peter, should we end a story close to home?
Let's do it.
In Sydney's own.
Mm.
2 men at 6:15 a.m.
Only 2?
Only 2. Snuck into the bedroom of another man, a third, with machetes, after being hired to carry out a stranger's sexual fantasy of being tied up in his underwear and stroked with a broom, only to discover they had the wrong address. How's that for a headline?
Wow. Tell me more. Is there more? Tell me more. I want to know more. I need more context.
I mean, what more is there to say? This man woke up and he thought it was his mate who came by like every day, and he's like, bugger off, it's too bloody early for this crap. And then they were like, oi mate, are you Kevin? And he's like, no. And they're like, you sure you're not Kevin? And he's like, no. And he turned on the light, sees these 2 dudes in machetes, with machetes. He sees these 2 dudes with machetes. And they're like, oh crap, sorry mate, we got the wrong house. They shake hands, they leave, they get arrested.
Why am I imagining everyone naked at this point?
I mean, he may have slept naked, but yeah.
It's the only way to carry a machete, naked.
Well, where are you hiding the machete? That's my question. Oh, that's difficult to think of.
Oh.
But like a broom? This man's sexual fantasy was to be tied up with a broom. No, tied up and then stroked with a broom.
Which end of the broom?
I'm assuming the bristly end, but surely there's more sexual appliances than... Like, what about a vacuum? That would be something I'd pay for. Getting tied up, 2 dudes with a machete, and a vacuum. That could go anywhere.
Where would you like to go? With a broom, there's something for everyone. You've got the long end, and then you've got the bristles on the other end. Like, keeps the whole family happy.
I mean, unless you got a bendy broom. If you got a bendy broom, you can... This is getting far too imaginative.
There's a voice in my head that says, yo, I'm about to end this man's career.
Look, all I know is, whether it's a broom or a vacuum, I'd rather be tied up with some hose. Hey-o. That was improvised, and I regret saying it instantly.
You got to end on that.
I'm still probably going to end that in.
You got to end that. You got to end on that.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is a wonderful show. Thank you, Mr. Morgan, for joining me.
Anytime. Dr. X.
Dr. X.
I don't know. You look like a doctor.
Do I?
Yeah.
I'm wearing a beanie and a leather jacket.
Like one of those euthanasia doctors.
Oh, like Dr. Harold Shipman.
Yep.